champion in Brisbane. What a race we've got coming up. The men's 110 hurdles. The world record holder, he's there, Colin Jackson, 12.91. The Goodwill Games record is held by Crear at 13.06. He's there. In fact, we've got the world champion in Alan Johnson. We've got the Olympic champion in Garcia. Look at that, combined world and Olympic medals between the lineup. 7 gold, 6 silver and 3 bronze. David Colbert, we've got every world champion or Olympic champion here since the year of 1993.
We've got everything. We've got gold, silver and bronze from the World Championships. We've got gold, silver and bronze in the Olympics. It's a field that wasn't assembled for the World Championships because Colin Jackson, the world record holder, didn't run in the major titles this year. And what a moment for Stuart, second in the national championships. Personal best of 13.73. A talented young athlete with a bright future. And a great opportunity tonight. There's Crear, bronze medalist in the Olympic Games in Sydney, holds the Goodwill Games record at 13.06. If the wind drops, they certainly can go close to that tonight.
And you saw him just look above and say a word of thanks. He's ordained as a minister.
Dudley Dorival from Haiti won their first World Championship medal with a bronze at the World Championships in Edmonton. He had a great race there, 13.25. Larry Wade. Want to meet him in a dark alley. He's ready for business.
Trains with John Smith.
13.24 is his season's best. Here's the Olympic champion in the next lane. Garcia, second at the World Championships. He's had some great battles this year with Alan Johnson.
Very, very close battles. They're almost swapping races. Johnson's got the better of him at the World Championships, but also last week to take a share of the Golden League. Alan Johnson, if you thought I was a rap for Sanchez in the 400-metre hurdles, I'm an even bigger rap for this man because boy does he know how to perform when he really needs to.
World champion, yes, in 95, 97 and again this year. Olympic champion in 1996. Dawane Wallace in lane 7. He was 7th at the World Championships, has a personal best of 13.22. What about this fellow, Terrence Trammell? He's run 10.04 on the flat in lane 8.
That's what it takes in these events. The flat speed is supreme. You consider Matt Shervington's personal best is just 1/100th of a second faster than that. Trammell, the silver medalist at the Olympic Games in Sydney. And here's one of my favourite athletes, Jane, Colin Jackson, the world record holder, twice world champion, Olympic silver medalist back in Seoul in 1988.
He's a fantastic athlete. Actually, more so than that, David. I think most people on the circuit, the athletic circuit, would say he's an even better person. He's very, very popular athlete from Wales. He's run a number of Commonwealth Games titles as well. Almost his swan song this year. This is probably the only big international meet that he's done of the year.
Don't write him off. He won the Golden League meet in Rome, surprisingly defeating Johnson and Garcia. What a field. It's, I think, the best field assembled here. We've seen some wonderful lineups, but this one, I think, is the premier event on the track and field program here in Brisbane. Watch for Johnson's technique. He does tend to flatter through the hurdles. If he goes clean tonight, then he will be very, very difficult to beat.
More than anything, watch how over the hurdles his hip level does not drop like many of the others. He has the strength to keep running up toward. No, the crowd is making noise for the pole vault, which is disrupting the start of the hurdles. It's not that far away from the hurdle start line.
Some great action at the pole vault as well. We'll be returning there shortly with David Colbert.
So,
Attention,
this is the type of thing, David, we talked about yesterday when we don't want to see the false start rule changed.
There's Tatiana. Pole vault action continuing. Dragila Fiafanova still in business.
David, with Tatiana earlier, you were talking about the pyjama wear that her husband and Victor have launched, almost like you know it pretty well. Have you got some of the Victor PJs?
No, and more importantly, I don't have any of the Tatiana PJs, which is most disappointing, but you never know your luck in a big city. Christmas is coming up, Terry. They go down again.
Good shot, this one, because you get to have a really good look at what the athletes actually see. It's almost like a tunnel when you get down on the blocks that the hurdles make.
It's a frightening sight, really, when the first hurdle comes up in such a short space of time, and if you don't get that first one spot on, then it's very difficult to recover.
And only 8 strides to the first hurdle.
So Johnson in 6, Garcia in 5.
Sir.
Away. And Garcia got out very well. Johnson was away fast. Jackson's up there as well with Crear and also Trammell. It's Johnson and Garcia, the two favourites going together. front. Trammell, Johnson and Garcia, they go to the line. Johnson just beats Garcia. Wow, what a clash.
Well, every time he just does it, doesn't he? Holds himself together. He wants it more, I think. He does the dip, and he just seems to want it more.
Garcia appeared to get in front
I
as they
agree.
came over the last hurdle, and Johnson clobbered it. Garcia did as well. There's an absolute trail of carnage down on the track with hurdles everywhere, but Johnson, well, he is a genius when it comes to technique and holding his form and maintaining his composure when the heat is absolutely on him. He's breathing a sigh of relief. Have a look as they come down here. Johnson clobbered that one. Just here it was Garcia got alongside. They came to the last. They got over the second last cleanly. It was this one. They both hit it. Try this one. The last. Johnson absolutely clobbered it, but he just maintains his composure and his form. And as you said, Jane, his hips are nice and high. And look at that dip. That is textbook stuff.
Well, really, David, Garcia, he got over the last better than Johnson, but Johnson somehow held it together and was able to get there.
I think it's an absolute sign of a champion when you win races like this time after time. And Johnson is a classic example of that. Kathy Freeman's a great example of that. In a close race, you'd stick your money on Johnson every time. In a close race, you do the same thing with Kathy Freeman. And that's a real sign of someone that has that sort of inner animal instinct almost, or that desire to always win.
Well, what a piece of footage this is. The head-on of the two great champions. Johnson on your left, Garcia on the right of screen.
Key thing to look at here, as Jane pointed out earlier, is have a look at the position of their heads. They just maintain the parallel at all times. Garcia a little bit up and down. But Johnson just dipped there, struggled to get up for the next one, grits his teeth. Garcia starts to stretch. Johnson absolutely clobbered that one. And now they dip, and have a look at the eyeballs on Garcia.
There was some pressure. Those last three hurdles were